Welcome to What with Jen. I have to admit, I'm scrambling a little bit to get a pod out for release today. I do have some pre-recorded episodes, but some of them are part of a series, and the series isn't quite finished yet. Greg and Elle were out of town last week, and I was really looking forward to quiet evenings where I could write and record more pods, and really, I just needed a week to do nothing at night but binge watch some TV. My consulting gig during the normal workday is really, really busy. I'm an interim controller at a large tech company, and I'm working with their auditors for their year-end audit and their tax people and like some serious tax initiatives. And there are a lot of moving parts and pieces. I love, love, love the work, and I am so glad that I have multiple income streams between accounting and finance, doing my real estate, and hopefully someday this pod. Anyway, I always want to deliver good and timely content, and since school starts Tuesday, so let's talk about planning for it. I get a newsletter from AZA United. The long name is Arizona Autism United. I once had a question about something in the newsletter and responded, thinking it just goes to some, generic inbox. And my email reply actually went directly to the founder and CEO, Aaron Blooker-Rubin. And I'm sorry if I just butchered your name. It happens to me all the time personally. I just have never heard you say your name out loud. Anyway, we laughed about how no one ever replies to the email newsletter except me, of course. And Aaron was kind enough to meet me a while back, and I fully love and support AZA United. Elle gets ABA therapy from them. That stands for Applied Behavioral Analysis. It's essentially behavior therapy. And our team is awesome, and the progress she has made over the years is absolutely unbelievable. She has grown and matured and developed so very much. I'm always looking to partner with service providers. And while we aren't technically partners, me and AZA United, I can still give them a shout out. So I get this latest newsletter, and the topic is back to school tips for parents and how to plan for a successful school year. Aaron was kind enough to introduce me to the lady who wrote the blog. Her name is Olivia Fryer, and she is the outreach coordinator. She agreed to be on the pod to talk about her tips, and unfortunately, due to my schedule, I just couldn't work it in to record with her last week. And school starts this week, and I just didn't want to lose out on the opportunity to help parents get ready. And I have my own tips to work in as well, but I'm going to give AZA United and Olivia and Aaron full rights and credibility to the content that they've delivered that I'm essentially repeating. So that's my full disclosure. Okay. Myself, as a parent, gets super anxious about a lot of things. I love back to school time. I feel like I get some freedom. But it's nerve-wracking because I'd love to have a camera on my daughter throughout the day that I can check in on, like at our favorite doggy daycare. Elle is not an anxious person. I wish I lived in her world. However, a lot of kids can get very anxious about the new school year. They might face a new classroom, a new teacher. They might worry about making new friends, or they might even be in the new school altogether. So here are some tips Olivia suggests to help kiddos prepare. And yeah, parents too. Allow your kid to be involved in shopping for school supplies and narrow down their choices and give them your approved options so that they can make a final decision. Look into maybe they need a rolling backpack. That might be good if they have to bring additional classroom supplies or they have an augmentative communication device, like my daughter does. Her backpack is super heavy. This will also help them out with gaining independent skills when traveling if they're used to carting around their own stuff. We all know social stories are awesome. Maybe the school will allow for pictures of the campus and staff to be provided in advance. I mean, wouldn't that work for almost like any kid? But this way, they're already introduced to their setting that they're going to be operating in. And I love this one in particular. Practice the timing of being on schedule for the appropriate wake-up time and the morning routine to get them to school, and maybe even with a mock drive to school. I personally am already behind for this one, as I love to let Elle sleep in when she can, but I think it's great to get them on the routine before school starts so no one feels rushed and it's like super chaotic those first few days. This next one is huge. Request to meet with your kid's teacher in advance. Last year, Elle moved on to high school. Me, her middle school teacher, the school psychiatrist, and her therapist were all involved as part of her team in meeting the high school and determining the appropriate placement for her. We got to tour the school, and while we could not meet the teacher since they were out on leave, we felt pretty good about it. And in fact, that teacher didn't come back, and there was going to be a new one, so there was no way for us to meet them that far in advance. But that was not enough for me. This high school campus was huge with thousands of students. And how could I be sure Elle would be safe and a good fit with the teacher and the paraprofessionals? I also wanted her to walk the campus since she was going to be going from class to class for different subjects instead of being in the same classroom all day. So I did what I do. I asked and pretty much demanded that we needed to go to school the day before it started. We needed to meet the teacher and ensure that Elle knew where her home class was. The school accommodated me completely, and I felt a little silly at having made a big deal out of it after all, but it was important to me. We can't just send our kids off on a bus with strangers and hope for the best. We have to know, especially if they can't communicate back to us about their day. Anyway, parents, never be afraid to ask for tours and meetings. You deserve them, and so does your kid. Olivia continues in her blog to keep up on your kid's journey with the educators and team members throughout the school year. And of course, AZA United offers autism awareness training at no cost to families. This training is provided by a special education teacher, and the purpose of the program is to encourage students to accept, include, and support their peers with autism in school, and also in after-school activities. And it's designed to provide teachers with information and strategies so they can continue to support, encourage, and foster inclusive relationships amongst their students throughout the school year. And super important, the program is designed to support or complement any anti-bullying program that might already be in place. I mean, unfortunately, bullying is a huge reality in the special needs community. So Olivia ends her blog with the following quote. Quote, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn." End quote. Pretty good stuff, Olivia. I wish we could have met, but I appreciate all that you and AZA United do. I know my life and Elle's life are better because of your services. Hey, and cheers, parents. Here's to back to school. May all your kids have the best school year ever. So whoop whoop to you all out there. Thanks for listening. This is Jen.